Okay, I think it's recording. Hi everybody and welcome back to our weekly live stream. My name is Alisha and in this week's live lesson we are going to talk about how to give your opinion on food and drink. For this week's lesson, I'm going to review some basic patterns you can use to talk about food and drink and to express your opinions about those topics, of course. And then I'm going to talk about some comparison patterns that you can use to more, I guess, naturally express your ideas and how to be a little more creative in how you express your opinion. So for today's lesson, yes, the patterns I'm going to talk about are for food and drink, but I'm going to also give you patterns you can use for other situations too, so I hope it's helpful. Finally, we'll end with some vocabulary words that you can use. So I hope that you are ready. As you join, please make sure to like and share this video so that other people can find today's lesson. Of course, that would be very, very cool. And while we wait for others to join us live, a couple super quick announcements. First, as always, we have free stuff for you. Free stuff. This banner at the bottom says free PDF lessons. So I have a few here. This one's perfect for today. You can pick up vocabulary and phrase expressions, PDFs to download so that you can practice key vocabulary words that you know you need to study. So this one, it says supermarket, but there are food and food-related words on this one. There are many different topics, so please check it out and download the one that is right for you, or download them all and check them out later. You can find this from the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube, or above the video if you are watching this on Facebook, so check it out. Also, the other thing, as always, if you have questions for me, if you have questions about something different from today's topic, or if you think of a question later and you're like, I wonder, like, what's the answer? Send it to me for this series. Our weekly Q&A series, question and answer series, is called Ask Alisha. So you can send me your questions. I will read them and maybe answer them. So you can find this on the English Class 101 YouTube channel, or you can send your questions to me at englishclass101.com/ask-Alisha. So please check that out. Send me your questions. Okay, that's everything for announcements. So I am going to make sure everything is good. Hi everybody on YouTube. Welcome YouTube chatters. Mariana, Mirel, Marco, Forcefield, hello, Elvin, Kanwaljit, Anna, Gina, hi, Nickel Punch. Hi everybody. Thank you for joining us live. That's super cool. I'm going to Facebook to check to make sure Facebook is good. Hi, Facebook, I see you. I'm still broadcasting from my house, so I'm checking Facebook here. Hi, everybody. Eriverta, hi. Elena, Oscar, hello. Malek, Ahmed. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. Okay, everyone is here. So I'll show you today's lesson below. I didn't fix the size here. I made a different size. So I'm going to show you today's, the lesson, the whiteboards we're going to use in today's lesson. So if you want to take a screenshot, you can do that now. Sorry, I have to resize the image real quick. I thought I did this before, but I did not. Sorry about that, guys. So as I said, today's lesson will be in 3 parts. I'm going to talk about we're going to begin with this review. Here we go. This review of some basic patterns first. We're going to review I like adjective, or I don't like adjective in part 1. Part 2, we're going to practice making comparisons. And finally, I'm going to talk about some adjectives you can use to describe food and drink, and I'll also share with you an adjective trick. So I'm going to talk about how native speakers make their own adjectives. So this is maybe a good one, I hope, for intermediate and higher level learners. So let's get started. Okay, let's begin with this part. Let's begin with a quick review. A quick review of a very basic pattern to express your opinion. So to do this, we simply say, I like or I don't adjective, noun. So I have adjective here. so that we can express a deeper opinion. So of course you can make a basic opinion expression with just I like plus a noun. But today I want to focus on making kind of deeper questions. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples. Here's one. I like salty snacks. Okay, so salty is my adjective. Snacks, plural noun, is here. So a point to be careful of for many learners. In this pattern, when you use a noun here, so the noun you use here should be in the plural form. So I like salty snack is not correct. I like salty snacks. Do not forget this S, please. To make a negative pattern, I don't like sugary desserts. I don't like sugary desserts. So sugary, we'll talk about later, but sugary means something that tastes really, really a lot like sugar. Super, super sweet. So I don't like sugary desserts. So this is a very basic pattern you can use to describe food and drink that you like. So I've used snacks or desserts here, but you can choose drinks, whatever you like to eat. And of course you can use this with a different type of noun. So it could be clothes or movies or whatever. Okay, so let's review. We've reviewed this. Now let's review just a few very basic expressions you can use to talk about your preferences. So again, this will be just some review. So some basic expressions when you like something. You can say, this is really good, or this is delicious, or this is amazing, or this is tasty. So what's the difference? Lots of people ask, what's the difference? And generally, there's not much of a difference. There's really not much of a difference between these. Delicious, though, I should note, delicious we use only for food. So don't say, like, this sweater is delicious, or this book is delicious. We don't use delicious except for food. Really good, though, you can use for anything. And amazing, you can use for anything. Tasty, tasty also. We use tasty for food and drink only. So again, just some basic expressions you can use to express when you like something. And then, of course, when you don't like something, you can say, I'm not a fan, or I'm not a fan of the food or drink. So like, I'm not a fan of sugary desserts, or I'm not a fan of salty snacks. So I'm not a fan. And if you want to, you can finish the sentence here. Alternatively, I don't like food or drink very much. I don't like food or drink very much. At native speed, that sounds like I don't like food or drink very much. Like, I don't like salty snacks very much. Questions are coming in. John says, can we use don't to hate? So if you want to say you like something a little bit, you can say, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. So like, I don't hate healthy snacks. But if you say I don't hate, it sounds like you only like it a little bit, not very much. Of course, you can say I hate something to express dislike to. That's fine. Nickel Punch says, I'm not a fan of okura. Me too. Me neither, rather. Alexander on Facebook says, can we use yummy? Yes, you can use yummy. Like, this is yummy. Yes, you can. But please keep in mind, yummy sounds kind of childish. So like kids use it, or like parents and children use it. Or if you want to sound childish, you can use yummy, or kind of playful. That's the feeling of yummy. Okay, I don't see other questions, but please send them along if you have them. Yes, MJ on YouTube says, it's not my cup of tea. Yes, exactly. That's what we use when we don't like something very much. Okay, good. So this is our review for today's lesson. Part 2 will be a level up. So we'll take one quick break. Send me your questions if you have them. I'll check them after. And then we'll go to part 2, our focus point for this lesson. So if you missed it, I shared earlier a few PDFs you can download for free from the link below the video if you are watching this on YouTube, or above the video if you are watching on Facebook. You can download them to get some vocabulary words. Where's the one? There it is. You can download them to get vocabulary words and expressions you can use in various situations. So this one is the dining, but it's not just for restaurants. It's for food and for comments. Like right here, what I'm talking about today. It looks tasty. It lacks salt. Ooh, this is not fresh. So check this out. You can download this. This could be like your homework, I guess, or your homework or your review for today's lesson, if you like. So check this out above or below the video, YouTube on Facebook. Okay, then let's continue on. If you are just joining, today's lesson is about how to give your opinion on food and drink. So we've just talked about some basic patterns we can use to talk about our preferences. I will show you again today's lesson boards so that you can see where we are and take a picture if you want. So I just talked about this point, just a short review. Now I'm going to talk about this point, comparisons. I want to give some examples of comparison patterns because native speakers use these a lot. So let's go to part 2. Okay, so also if you have not, please make sure to like and share this video so other people can find the lesson, yeah? Awesome. All right, part 2, let's continue. So comparisons. The basic comparison pattern I want to practice with you today is this one. A tastes like B. A tastes like B. So in this pattern, I'm going to talk about 2 ways to use this pattern. Let's begin with this one, where A and B are nouns. So noun tastes like other noun. So when you do this, this pattern means that thing A has the same taste as thing B, but they are different. Yeah? Some examples. This sauce tastes like vinegar. This sauce tastes like vinegar. So vinegar is generally kind of a strange flavor for sauce. Or my drink tastes like lemon juice. Or that dessert tasted like heaven. So this one is actually a concept. I wanted to introduce this idea. We can use concepts in our comparison to show that we really, really like or we really, really dislike something. Okay, I see some questions coming in. I will come to you very shortly after this point. So what's happening here? First, this tastes. So when we use this pattern, as I said, this means this thing has the same or similar taste as this thing. Many learners forget this S because when native speakers say this pattern, this sound, I'll show you, I'll write so you can see how it's connected. These 2 sounds connect. This sauce tastes like is really, really hard to say in fast speech. Native speakers say, this sauce tastes like. So this S and L connect. Tastes like. Another example, my drink tastes like lemon juice. Or here, past tense, tasted like. That dessert tasted like heaven. So that one's a little more clear. But please don't forget this S when you're spelling, yeah? Here, again, yes, I've used past tense. You can use the same pattern to talk about something you ate before the conversation. So this is the first comparison pattern I want to practice. We're going to get creative in the second part here, but I saw some questions coming in. Raquel on Facebook said, can I say I'm in a mood of drink or food? Close. Say, I'm in the mood for food or drink. So just change your article and your preposition. I'm in the mood for something. I'm in the mood for a smoothie, and so on. Okay, there were a couple other questions, I think, that came in real quickly. I'm looking for you. Okay, some of you are sending examples. This cola tasted like acid. Ooh, good example, perfect example. That's a little scary. Good job. Okay, Bhavna says, this drink tastes like lemonade. Perfect. Very nice job. Someone says, I like your pen. Great, I got it at the dollar store. Okay, let's go to this part then. So I want to practice this to help you level up from this pattern. This basic noun tastes like noun pattern is useful, but these kinds of patterns are things you can use to be more creative and more interesting in your conversations. So to do this, get creative and use a verb phrase instead of a noun for be. So here, for this practice, for part 2, instead of noun, let's use like a full sentence. We're going to imagine something here. So I'm going to give you a few patterns or a few example sentences to practice. So, for example, this sauce tastes like, this is the same, someone poured a bottle of vinegar into a pot. So what does this mean? This still means this sauce tastes like vinegar. It still has the same meaning. But here, we're imagining a situation. This sauce tastes like someone poured a bottle of vinegar into a pot. So why is this more interesting? It sounds, we're imagining that someone like took vinegar and poured it into our sauce. Like we're imagining it was a plan, someone planned it. So it sounds more creative to express it in this way. Let's look at one more example. My drink tastes like the bartender squeezed a fresh lemon into my glass. So my drink tastes like the bartender squeezed a fresh lemon into my glass. So again, this sentence means this. My drink tastes like lemon juice. We're saying the same thing. But this is much more specific and more creative. So we can imagine, I don't know if you can see my glass. Okay, so we imagine that a bartender, so squeezing means like this motion with a lemon, yeah, into your glass. So it's like saying this was a planned choice. We want to express that more creatively with a pattern like this. So you'll notice this part here. These are full sentences. The bartender squeezed a fresh lemon into my glass, or someone poured a bottle of vinegar into a pot. These are complete sentences. We are making a comparison with a complete sentence, and it makes a more creative opinion expression. Okay, let's look at this one more example. This is a negative example. That cake tasted like someone left it in the oven a little too long. That cake tasted like someone left it in the oven a little too long. What does this mean? So the cake, I ate the cake, it's past tense, that cake tasted like someone, so the person who made the cake, they left the cake inside the oven, baking, for too long. So this is a creative way to express, I think the cake was burned. But this is a more creative way to express that idea. Okay? So in the comments, some of you are already doing it. Use a comparison to describe your favorite food or your favorite drink. Great question, Jamari. How do I use as if or as though to talk about how something feels or how something tastes? Great question. So in these example sentences, I'm using tastes like, tastes like, tastes like. And yes, technically, we should use tastes as if before tastes as if someone verb, right? Native speakers we don't often remember this. We just use like a lot. So tastes as if, we can use that in these cases. Tastes as if the bartender, or tastes as if someone, blah, blah, blah. So as if you can use in this pattern. As though as well. But generally in everyday speech, at least in American English, we tend to use this like pattern more. So I know that when we practice grammar, we know that like and as if and as though take different rules, but in everyday speech, we tend to break those rules a lot. So you can use those in the same way as you use like here. I hope that answers your question. Okay, other questions. Some of you are sending good examples. This burger tastes like someone left it in the open, Kanwalji, the open for an eternity. Okay, some other points. Anna says, can I know how to use the word taste and tastes in sentences? Sure, good point. So taste here is used to express the flavor of something, yeah? But we also use the verb taste to talk about trying something. So like if I have a drink, I don't know what it is, or my friend's drink, I say, can I taste your drink? It means I want to try a little bit. I want a small amount of your drink. So we can use taste to express that idea, to try a little piece of something or a little bit of something. And we use taste to express the flavor of something. I hope that helps answer your question. Thank you. Okay, I don't see other questions yet on Facebook, so I'm checking your questions. Some examples, lots of examples are on YouTube. My drink tastes like iced tea, Jermaine. So again, don't forget this S, yeah? This S, tastes like. This pizza tastes like someone put the pepper of the whole world, all the pepper in the world. Is there someone cutting grass? I don't know, there's someone doing something outside today. So it's a little background noise. Okay, so this is the focus point for today. I hope that all of you can practice using this point right here. Practice making a comparison with a verb, like a full sentence at the end of your comparison, to make your opinion more detailed and to creatively express your ideas. So try to listen for this. Like if you like cooking shows or other TV shows in English, you can hear that. Felipe says, how about tasted like heaven? Yeah, so I have this here, tasted like heaven. You can use this expression to mean something was super, super delicious. It tasted like heaven. Okay, I have to finish part 2, so we have time for part 3, where I want to share a vocabulary trick with you. So we'll end there for part 2. Thanks for all your questions. That's super cool. Okay, what do I need to do? I need to tell you about free stuff. There's this banner at the bottom of the screen, free PDF lessons. I showed you a few earlier. I will show you a couple more now. So if you know there's a gap in your vocabulary, you can download one of these PDF sheets to practice, of course. I showed you a few of these already. There it is. I knew there was one more food one. Today's topic is food and cooking. So here you can find some recipe-related and food-related words. So check this out. And there are many other topics too. I showed you this one, dining. I didn't show you this one, pets. This one is if you have pets and want to practice those kinds of words. So check this out from the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube, or above the video if you are watching on Facebook. Okay, so let's go to the last part of today's lesson. Also, if you have not already, please make sure to like and share this video so other people can find today's lesson. Douglas on YouTube says, could I swap taste to another verb of senses? Oh yeah, so like taste or sounds like, yeah, or feels like, yes, absolutely. You can totally change this verb. You can change this verb in this sentence for another sense verb to make a comparison. So A sounds like B, or A feels like B, or A smells like B. Perfectly fine. Okay, on to Cindy SMS, our YouTube member, says the teacher does not read the YouTube comments. I've been reading the comments all lesson. Okay, let's go to the last part of today's lesson. The last part, I will show you today's lesson boards. So we talked about part 1, part 2. Now we're going to food and drink adjectives, food and drink adjectives, and I want to teach you a trick that you can use to make your own adjectives. This is something native speakers do a lot. Okay, so this is a very quick list. Of course, there are many, 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 many adjectives we use to describe food and drinks, but I want to review this group, like in particular. I want to practice these because a lot of these follow a certain pattern. So let's go through them and note that lots of them end in Y. Yeah, lots of these end in Y. So first, let's look at these. What do they mean? First, I have salty, so something that tastes like salt, yeah? Something that tastes like too much like salt. Salty is usually kind of a negative thing. Sugary, I talked about sugary today too, sugary. So it tastes like sugar. So generally not such a good thing. Savory. Savory is an adjective we use to talk about meat, generally. So it means something that has a little salty flavor and something maybe that has a little bit of other flavors like herbs or spices or whatever too. Savory generally is a good thing. So this meat is savory. It's like we use it to describe meat that is cooked nicely, very nicely cooked meats and sauces sometimes too. Okay, fatty is another good one to use. Fatty, we use fatty though. Please keep in mind, yes, fat is the root here. Can I do this? Yeah, fat. Okay, so fat is the root here, yeah? The base. But fatty is used to talk about foods that have a lot of fat. So that means like fatty tuna or maybe fatty pork. A food, usually a meat, well, of course it's a meat, like vegetables don't have fat. So a meat that has a lot of fat on it and has that fat, rich taste, we can describe that as fatty. Another one, I just used rich. Something that is rich feels like heavy, kind of. So we use rich for desserts and like sauce sometimes too. So it's kind of like heavy or maybe very thick, kind of luxurious with desserts. So we use rich a lot with like chocolate, for example. Okay. Another good one, I think many of you know, sour, things that are sour. So like citrus, lemon, lime, those sorts of things. When you eat it, your face is like, whoa, that's something that's really sour. A lot of people ask, what's the difference between sour and bitter? If you imagine the difference between like lemon, so sour, lemon is very sour, although I guess some people could say bitter, and something like spinach. So something that has kind of there's not that strong like acid feeling with bitter. That's the difference between sour and bitter. Okay, bubbly is another one. We use bubbly for drinks, to talk about drinks. So bubbly, the root here, you can see, the root is bubble. The spelling has changed here. Bubble is the root. So a drink that is bubbly has lots and lots of bubbles in it. So my soda is bubbly, or my cocktail is bubbly, something that is bubbly. I included cloudy here too, because we use cloudy to talk about drinks also, not just the weather. Cloudy, a cloudy drink is a drink, this is the opposite of cloudy. This is clear, like you can see through it easily. So imagine cloudy weather in your glass. That's a cloudy drink. So maybe juice is cloudy, or like a beer is cloudy. So we use cloudy to talk about drinks also. Okay, last one, herby. If you study British English, you might hear this pronounced herb. In American English, we say herb. This H sound we do not pronounce, herb. Herby. So something that is herby has a strong herbal taste. It tastes like an herb. It tastes like many herbs, maybe. So what's the reason? So I chose all of these vocabulary words to share today. Of course, I hope that you can practice these vocabulary words, but I wanted to focus on this trick. This is what a lot of native speakers like to use to create their own adjectives, to create adjectives in the moment. We use noun plus y to describe something. So, for example, lemony or chocolatey or meaty. So when we want to make a specific description of something and maybe we don't know, like, is there a word, is there a specific word? We can use this trick. This is in casual conversation with friends. Don't write this in like a business email. This is a casual conversation trick that we use all the time. So like, I use this all the time. So if I want to talk about water that has a lemon taste, I describe it as lemony. So my water is lemony. You can use this trick with lots of flavor and smell adjectives. So this is a really, really fun and easy trick. You might also have heard ish. I will include this on the board. There's some time. You might hear noun plus ish, ish. So for example, lemon-ish or chocolate-ish or meat-ish. So this ish, maybe it's not so common in these cases. This Y pattern is more common in these cases. But ish, the difference between ish and this E ending, ish is like saying a little bit. So lemon-ish is like a little bit lemon. Or chocolate-ish is like a little bit of chocolate flavor. So meat, well, we probably wouldn't say meat-ish, like unless we want to talk about something that tastes a little bit like meat. So that's the difference. Like lemony versus lemonish, it's like the lemon level is higher with lemony. With lemonish, it's a little bit lower. So this is a really, really useful trick you can use to create your own adjectives in the moment. Of course, if there's already an adjective, please use that. Please use that. Someone said, can I use Richie instead of rich? No, because there's already this adjective. So you cannot use this adjective plus y. So like Richie doesn't work, or like Savory doesn't work. To use this trick, you have to use noun plus y, so not adjective plus y. Kanwaji, this soup tastes lemonish. So, good point. That's a good point to finish on today. If you want to use an adjective, you cannot use the pattern we practiced in part 2. So, why? Let's look at why. Part 2, we practiced this pattern. A tastes like B. Noun tastes like noun. Noun tastes like noun has to be, we have to use a noun in B. These words are adjectives. We cannot say that. So we would say this drink is lemonish. Where's my first one? This is, for example, we practiced this basic structure at the beginning of today's class. This is delicious. This is amazing. This is tasty. This is lemony. So please use these words like adjectives, the same as an adjective. Someone says, tasty. Can we use tasty? Yes, of course. Tasty is a very casual, kind of cute word that you can use. Okay. Raquel says, this chocolate tastes like mint. Good. Felipe says, my drink is lemonish. Good. Nice. I think you got it. That's fantastic. Okay. I will continue checking your examples, but I have to finish up for today's lesson. That was really fun. Someone says, this soup tastes like lemon. Is that good? Lemon soup? I don't know. Okay. We'll finish there for today. Oh, I'll show you today's lesson boards one more time if you want to take a picture. Here we go. So today's 3 points. Basic patterns with adjectives. Comparisons, we practiced. This is your maybe focus point this week. And our adjective list and a trick you can use to make your own adjectives. So I hope it was a helpful lesson for you. Let's go to next week's lesson topic, which is here. Okay, next week, of course, we'll be back. Next week, wow, August 26th. This year is going by so quickly. August 26th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be the next lesson. I'm going to do another preposition lesson. Everyone loves prepositions, right? This time I'm going to look at by, for, and to. By, for, and to. Lots of you ask me, like you send me comments on Instagram especially, like preposition. So please review past preposition lesson. I have fairly recently done a preposition lesson. You can review that before next week's lesson, so you're super ready for by, for, and to. So check it out. I hope that will be helpful for you. So I'll wrap it up there for this week. Thank you, as always, for joining me live. That is awesome. Thank you for your great questions and your great example sentences. I hope that you can practice today's grammar points this weekend. So enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you again next time. Bye.